Now, the building sector in India is being identified as one of the major contributors to climate change and one of the biggest guzzlers of energy. Now, as India's building stock is only going to multiply, the Ministry of Power has come out with a set of design guidelines to build energy-efficient, multi-storied residential buildings. How can you implement these recommendations and what can be the extent of the energy savings? Here's my report. Our cities are rapidly expanding and more people are shifting to urban areas to live and work. By 2050, it is estimated that 50% of India would be living in its cities. To house this population, the building stock is going to multiply many-fold, and so will the energy consumption.
What we are looking at is something like a tripling of energy use in the household sector. What is even more frightening is that the largest increase is driven by air conditioners.
Sensing this ticking time bomb, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency has formulated a set of 15 design recommendations for energy-efficient multi-story residential buildings for the hot and dry climate regions of India. These voluntary guidelines are meant to target builders, developers and architects for adoption at the design stage.
We want to make sure that they're built in a way that the need for energy is minimized. So if you've got buildings that face in the right direction, if the openings are not very large, then what can happen is that instead of using a 1.5 ton AC in a room, I may need only a 1 ton AC. And then if I use a 5-star AC, together my energy consumption would have come down by a factor of 30%.
Experts who have helped draft these design guidelines say the beauty of these recommendations is that they are very simple and don't cost extra. The recommendations speak of the orientation and shape of the building to minimize solar exposure on vertical surfaces. The building blocks should be arranged so that mutual shading also reduces solar exposure. Most of the solar heat gains in residential buildings originates through the building envelope, which means the windows, walls and roof. They recommend light colors on walls, insulation on the walls most exposed to the sun, window shades with extended overhangs, external movable shutters or double glazing to intercept direct solar radiation on the window. The rooftop should have overdeck insulation and high reflective surface to minimize the heat ingress.
When we look at the common systems, the design of lifts, water pumps, as well as the common lighting in multi-story residential complexes, there are specific recommendations on how the electricity can be reduced. And last point in our recommendations is about how to generate some of this electricity in-house using either solar water heaters or solar photovoltaic panels.
Such elementary design concepts, when combined with energy-efficient star-rated appliances, promise to halve your energy consumption. To encourage the industry to adopt such green design concepts, the onus lies on area municipalities to incorporate them into their bylaws and be strict with compliance. However, most local development bodies take on the carrot and stick approach, offering incentives of extra FAR and ground coverage.
That additional 3 stories increases the cost of servicing that building, carrying people up and down, carrying water up to service the building. It increases the cost in the construction of the building. More steel will be consumed to resist earthquakes and typhoon or wind or storm loads. What you thought you were gaining by energy efficiency, you have lost by building a particular type of building, increasing the height of the building.
To start with, housing finance lenders can insist on financing only green projects and also develop a credible certification system, much like what the BEE has done with electrical appliances. Vasudha Sharma, NDTV. All right, moving on to your questions, we have Dr. Chandan Mohan on the line with us. Hello, doctor. How can we help you? What's your question?
Actually, I want to purchase a resale house at Ramprastha Green, Vaishali Sector 7 in Ghaziabad.
Okay.
I want to know that it's in a resale 750 square feet flat. I want to know the actual cost and is it good for investment or not?
All right.
Okay, so he's getting a property, Ramprastha Greens Pearl Apartments, Vaishali, Ghaziabad. This is, however, a very old property, a decade-old property. Sami, would you recommend it?
We would recommend you to avoid a 12-year-old property because as you go forward, the property will keep on getting older, and today there's so much new development that is happening that you're going to get better amenities, better specifications, the project prices are going to go up of the newer projects. So we would recommend you to not look at old projects like these, and the prices are also quite high. We would recommend you to consider Indirapuram. If Vaishali is a must have location for your shortlist, then you can go ahead with it. Otherwise, Indirapuram is a better destination. It's got better price appreciation of 15% annualized compared to Vaishali's 13%. Of course, inventory overhang for both the markets is zero because these are ready properties. The weighted average price of Indirapuram is lower at 5350 compared to Vaishali 6650. This property is also, although in carpet area, so it's in line with the market prices. But we would recommend you to look at Shipra Neo by Shipra. This is a project part of a 225-acre township. Shipra Sun City, the project offers 2 BHK apartments with G+14 structures. Each unit has 3 balconies and 1 utility balcony, good specifications. And then you have Gaur Greens Vista 2, Gaursons, 6100 rupees. Gaur Green Vista 2 on main NH 24, just 3 kilometers from the Delhi border. Amenities include covered car parking, swimming pool, power backup, club, park, etc. Project lies just opposite to the commercial sectors of Noida. Prominent schools, hospital, retail arcades in near proximity.
Samir, just one question. How did Ghaziabad fare during the slowdown in the property markets? Most of the housing clusters here have affordable properties. So a slump in demand may not be one eventuality like what happened in Noida and Gurgaon. How did this market fare?
Well, I think this market fared pretty okay. If you look at the price appreciation charts, at least there was no negative dip. But if you look at overall 2.5 year scenario, the prices have now been in line with the way Noida and Gurgaon, which has fallen literally.
Okay.
So it's in line with those micro markets now. So overall, it's been a defensive market, is what I would say. So it hasn't fallen. It's gone up steadily because of the low base price of this micro market or this city. Having said that, it doesn't have that much premium attached to it like Noida and Gurgaon. So going forward also, it's not going to appreciate that rapidly.
Okay. All right. So Dr. Mohan, Pearl Apartments by Ramprastha Builders, we're advising that it's an old property, so maintenance cost could be an additional burden on you. So instead, we're advising that you utilize your corpus of savings to invest in latest properties in Indirapuram, one of the better, more livable properties, localities in Ghaziabad. Look at Shipra Neo by Shipra and Gaur Green Vista Phase 2 by Gaursons India. Okay, next Vivek Gupta has a question for us. Hi Vivek, how can we help you?
Yeah, good evening ma'am. My question is, I have a 3 BHK unit in E Tower of Unitech Residences, Sector 33, Gurgaon. Okay. This project was scheduled for possession in August 2012, but even after 2 years of delay, it is nowhere near completion. Please advise me whether I should sell it or wait for its completion. I am an investor and can wait, but wait should not be for more than 2 years. Please advise.
Okay, so Vivek clearly clarifies that he is an investor. He can wait, but not more than 2 years. Another buyer sharing his story of how a Unitech project has been delayed. How much do you think he would have made on this property, and do you advise he reinvest?
See, the launch price of this project was at 3295 rupees a square foot. So price appreciation since launch has been pretty good because the current resale price is about 7500 rupees a square foot. So on the price appreciation charts, this project has done well. Depending on what price and when you invested into this project. This project is also part of an integrated township spanning 154 acres. We would recommend you that if you can't wait and the prices are not going to really climb up, and since you're an investor over here, you can look at Gurgaon side of Dwarka Expressway or the Delhi side of Dwarka Expressway, where price appreciation in the next 2 to 3 years should be slightly better. Here the price appreciation already has been about 14 and 18% respectively for Gurgaon side of the expressway because the lower base price doing better, because Gurgaon side is 6500 on weighted average price scale, whereas Delhi side is about 7950. The projects that you can consider are Cocoon by ATS Builders, 6200 to 6300 rupees a square foot. It's a 10.5 acre project. The project has luxury apartments being designed by Hafiz Contractor over here. Project construction has reached advanced levels and possession is expected late next year. Heritage Max by Quotient Infrastructure. It's a low density project, around 45 units per acre, and this project is being financed by all the top banks, and project is based on a sports theme and has 90% open area. 106 Golf Avenue by CHT Developers. This is sector 106. It's a luxury project of about 12.34 acres, and construction already is in advanced stages. Expected possession is 2015. Bank loan is available with all nationalized banks.
Okay. So Vivek, that's the advice. Book profits in the Unitech Residences project, Sector 33. You can sell this and buy on the Dwarka Expressway. The Delhi side, we're giving you 3 recommendations. Cocoon by ATS Builders, Heritage Max by Conscient Infrastructure, and 106 Golf Avenue by CHT Developers. And that's all for today, but you still have plenty of options to get your queries answered. Tune in to us every day of the week at 7 p.m. on NDTV Prime, and also match your frequencies. We are on Radio City every Saturday at 2 p.m. And if you miss catching us on air, we are always online on Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage, ndtv.com/property. From Samir and me, thank you and goodbye.